to be in Silicon Harlem because we're about to bring up one of the leaders in our space when it comes to smart deployment of technology, but also he's taking it to another level, calling it intelligent communities. So it's a great pleasure of mine to bring up the voice of the intelligent communities, who will now present the Smart21, Mr. Lou Zacharilla, and he's from Brooklyn.
We use this? Okay. And you're gonna press the button. Okay. Well, hello everyone, and let's give these guys a big hand for just a great, inspiring day. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Smart21 and what it means to communities around the world. But what you've been seeing today is a community in action. And what we've tried to do at the Intelligent Community Forum is to take communities from smart to intelligent. And the way to define that, or the way to think about that, is more poetic really than technological. We say that at the heart of a smart city is a device, a machine, something mechanical, right? You get a better lighting system, you get IoT, you get all the things that IBM and those companies talk about. But there's another layer to that. There's the human layer. And at the heart of an intelligent community is a soul, is a human being. And so what we're trying to do is to put our technology in the service of the human beings in our communities. And what we've tried to do over the last 20 years is to find communities around the world that have transformed themselves from very, very difficult circumstances in many cases, like Sunderland, England, which went from 28% unemployment to 4%. And we try to find out why they do that. How did they go from a disaster, from the darkness to the light? And we think we know now. And so we're here to share this with any community around the world who really wants to understand it. Because we have a choice today. We can go into the darkness, or we can move toward the light. And communities have the same choice that human beings have. And those of us who know that broadband is light, it's fiber, know that that's where you start. But you end up with your own human intelligence being activated. And that's the most beautiful thing. And that's why we call ourselves the Intelligent Community Forum. We are a global network of cities, metro areas, and counties that recognize intelligent communities. And we have a common method. We have the Intelligent Community Method, and you'll hear a little bit about that later. We are a think tank, and we study how places use technology to create prosperity, solve social challenges, and most importantly, celebrate their cultures. When we get our cultures right, we produce economically, we produce socially, and most important, mamas keep their boys and girls home. And we think that's real important. We have so far identified 160 cities, metro areas, and counties around the world that have been designated as intelligent. I'm 5'5". I'll never play in the NBA, but ultimately size doesn't matter. We have communities that have populations of 15,000, ones with 8 million or more, but they're all operating on the same principles. They all understand that if they transform themselves and go from smart to intelligent, that they can all punch at the same weight. And we're seeing that now. And again, it's one of the most inspiring things you'll ever see. You go to Washington, you can get pretty depressed. You can go to a lot of national capitals, you can get pretty depressed. But if you go to communities and you talk with community leaders, you talk with mayors, you talk to the young folks who are taking over city councils today, you actually get inspired again about politics. And so we're reinvigorating ourselves from the bottom up. And it's happening, again, in places that just think the right way, not that have a certain size, a certain wealth, a certain culture behind them. We are in an age of digital disruption. That's obvious. We've been talking about it all day. But these intelligent communities are using information technology and a humanizing method to make the places we call home the best places they can be. And again, we're a think tank. We take in a lot of data, we write a lot of books, we do a lot of research, but at the end of the day, the mission is very simple. We want the places that we call home to be the best places they can be. Because at the end of the day, you know, you'll fight for your country maybe 4 or 5 years, but a country is an abstract thing. But your home is your home. It'll always be the place that's most precious to you, and you'll fight for it forever. And when you get that right, then everything else begins to change. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, these awards programs that we have are done for 2 reasons. The first one is, you know, cities like a beauty contest, but it also gets us on CNN, ABC, and so forth. So it's been good for public relations. But the real reason we do it is to gather data. When we put out these calls for nominations, we get responses from 300 or 400 communities every year, and we collect that data, and that data becomes important to us for our research so that we can help other communities. And having these awards named, gets us on the internet, gets us on TV, and increases our speaking fees. And my mother would always think I had a job once I got paid to give a speech. It's a 3-step process, and we are now at the first stage today. We will go from 400 this evening to 21. So we will name our first round of 21. So it's kind of like the baseball playoffs, except the Yankees aren't in it. Actually, the Yankees aren't in the other one either, now that I think about it. But we start here, and those 21 that we name today will then be evaluated again, and we will get down to a group of 7. And we will make that announcement in February in another part of the world. Those 7 will be invited to our conference next June. They will have a conference built around them. They will be celebrated. And then on the last day of the conference, one of them will be named the Intelligent Community of the Year. And so you met the reigning intelligent community today. These are our analysts. These are the academics. And I want to just give them a shout out, who do all of this work of crunching the numbers. And by the way, I just want to make an announcement. We are actually looking for another researcher for our think tank. So if you're interested in doing research and talking to communities, let us know, because we do have a spot that's open. Okay, so we start today. We start down the path of finding the next Intelligent Community of the Year. That is how the Intelligent Community of the Year is assessed. Melbourne, Australia, the world's most livable city, 7 years in a row. We had one of their representatives here from their trade and investment group looking at Silicon Harlem today. He was on our panel at 11:30. They were named the Intelligent Community of the Year, and they are the reigning Intelligent Community of the Year. So we're now going to begin the hunt for their successor. And as I said, that successor will be named in London, June 5th through 7th. If you want to attend that conference, and you let us know that you attended the Silicon Harlem conference today, we will give you a code, and we will waive your registration fee. These 2 guys have to pay, though. But no, we would welcome you there. We would embrace you. Okay. The one nice thing about today, well, there's been a lot of nice things about today, but usually we do this in some remote part of the world. But it's so nice to be able to do it at home. And tonight, the center of the intelligent community movement worldwide is Harlem. And so there are several hundred communities right now out there waiting to hear if they made this list. So we don't want to keep them waiting any longer. And what I'm going to ask these 2 gentlemen to do is to press the button, and we'll give you a countdown in about a 5-minute video of this year's Smart 21. Gentlemen?
Thanks, Lou. And I will say that the Melbourne reigning champ were also announced here in New York, and we were invited. And it was such a great experience to see how this all sort of unfolds. So it's a great pleasure and an honor for us to be a part of this countdown. Let's start right now.
Data is the beating heart of business and government. Little by little, year by year, it has become the pulse of your own life too. Websites and emails, text messages and Facebook posts, schoolwork on the web and online applications for a job. Apps that wake you up, apps that inform and energize you, apps that alarm and confuse you, and apps that lull you to sleep. The constant stream of data you generate is the raw material companies sell to advertisers and turn to services that invite you to pump more and more data. It's the world of big data, and it gets bigger by the day. But data is not who you are. Data is
Tab. Control escape.
That's why robust broadband is important. Right? We need it. We need it. It's the new railroad.
Actually, it's CPU that's the problem with this, in this case. It's not coming up. I'm sorry, but I'm not getting there, because I've got a program running on there, but I can't find it. Okay, I guess I'll just give up. Well, it's just, I can't get to the, I can't get to the, yeah, I can't get to the control thing. Do you want to have a go at this house? I've got a Windows client to send a stream to me. It's fucking up his video. So, but I can't stop it because...
That's a technical term.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And I go control escape and it doesn't come up here and I don't see how to kill it. I tried alt tab and I don't see it. Oh yeah, that'll work. I would say it's the live stream remote camera. Okay, now restart this video, which is in his PowerPoint. Yeah.
While we're getting that straightened out, I told you a little bit about something that's waiting for you. And it's not only this unbelievable red bag, but inside of it, you saw the socks earlier? You're going to get your own silicone. We're always talking about next gen. Well, in the next week, you're going to need this. So you all are going to get one.
Think we're good?
Okay, let's. I get to hit the button again or something?
Launch it.
Is this going to launch it? Yeah. Where'd it go?
No, it's the last slide.
Okay.
The reverse. There you go.
Let's see if it'll play. Nope, not yet. That'll make it.
Give him a hand.
Data is the beating heart of business and government. Little by little, year by year, it has become the pulse of your own life too. Websites and emails, text messages and Facebook posts, schoolwork on the web and online applications for a job, apps that wake you up, apps that inform and energize you, apps that alarm and confuse you, and apps that lull you to sleep. The constant stream of data you generate is the raw material that companies sell to advertisers and turn into services that invite you to pump out yet more and more data. It's the world of big data, and it gets bigger by the day. But data is not who you are. Data is not the name of the place you call home. Big data can support human hopes and human potential. It has enormous value when it makes us more prosperous, better informed, safer and more engaged with others. And it is a threat when it does the reverse. In 2018, ICF's Intelligent Community Awards will celebrate the people, the communities, and the innovators who are humanizing data for the benefit of the place called home. We will honor those whose hard work and new technology lead to less poverty, greater health, higher hopes, and longer and richer lives, beginning in the first and most important place of all, the place you live, the place you work, and the place you raise the next generation. The awards are more than a celebration. They are ICF's continuing research program in which communities share valuable data with ICF in return for the chance to be honored. ICF turns that data into content which teaches other communities how to become intelligent. Our Community Accelerator Educational Service offers tutorials, workshops, metrics, and mentoring to help communities get started and keep moving. We publish our findings and recommendations in books and reports. We work with educators and local governments to found institutes for the study of the intelligent community. They use our global framework to drive research, education, and progress in their regions and to bring the intelligent community model to more places. We establish national organisations and countries that are home to many intelligent communities. They offer platforms where leaders work together on national issues with local impact, from telecommunications regulation to innovation policy. And every year we gather for a global summit where the leaders of communities, economic developers, educators and technologists meet to network, build relationships, find opportunities and learn from each other face to face. All of this contributes to a single goal: to help communities around the world grow prosperous and inclusive economies, to solve social problems and to enrich their quality of life using the tools and techniques of the digital age. ICF is now honoured to announce the Smart21 Communities of 2018. Adelaide, South Australia, Australia. Chiayi City, Taiwan. Espoo, Finland. Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Hudson, Ohio, USA. Ipswich, Queensland, Australia. Issy-les-Moulineaux, France. Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. Kinmen County, Taiwan. Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Olds, Alberta, Canada. Parkland County, Alberta, Canada. Pickering, Ontario, Canada. Sarnia-Lambton, Ontario, Canada. St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. Sunshine Coast, Queensland, Australia. Tainan City, Taiwan. Taoyuan, Taiwan. Western Valley, Nova Scotia, Canada. Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. York, Ontario, Canada.
What the heck?
Smart21
What's going on over here? What are we going to do about this, Nick? What is happening?
Intelligent communities around.
Am I seeing this right?
We invite you to mark your
What are you talking about, Lou?
2018 announcement of the
You guys don't have tickets to anywhere else in the world? What's going on here?
ICF Global Summit in London on June the 5th through 7th. Thanks for joining us.
Well, there they are, the Smart21, and whoops. If you're Canadian, it's a good night for you. I'll tell you, that actually surprises us. We never know what's going to come up here. But congratulations to all the Smart21. The one thing you'll note, two things actually you'll note before we close. You won't have heard of a lot of those communities, I'm sure. And the good news is there that these are places that are working hard because you don't know who they are. And they work a little bit harder. And I'm telling you, if you go to those places, you will see some great places to live. So I think, that's a really important thing to remember. And the second thing is that several of these communities, including Issy-les-Moulineaux in France and Winnipeg, have been on the list before. And a lot of them have been submitting nominations for over 10 years. And so, as you can see, this is an intergenerational project. Getting our communities right is not going to be done necessarily, in one lifetime. But if we keep working at it, we will get the results I think that we all want to see. So that's the story. Those are the Smart 21. Again, if you like beer and hockey, tonight is your night. But also, if you like intelligent communities and if you like the future, then Silicon Harlem is the place to be. So, gentlemen, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Clay and Bruce. Thank you so much for letting us do it this year. Thank you.
Give them a hand. All right. Everybody here, get with us. We're going to try to make that list. Got to rep. All right, so we are close to we're ready.